Caitlyn Jenner giving her take on the transgender swimming ban. Diane.
Yeah, so FINA, which is the Federación Internacional de Natación, which means the International Swimming Federation.
Well, why did they just call it that, for goodness sake?
Oh, God, you've got to live a little. Spaghetti bolognese was not made in Britain. So, like, basically they've said that if you are transgender, by all means compete, but you get your own category.
Yeah, so an open category for transgender athletes. Yeah. And what they're saying is that if you go through male puberty, then you will have a massive advantage over other competitors.
Yes.
That seems fair enough to me. And now that Caitlyn Jenner has said that's right,
yeah.
I mean, that sort of blows apart this myth that there's a kind of trans community, that everyone within that community feels the same way about this stuff. They don't. There's huge debates going on within those communities. These are individuals we're talking about, not a collective group.
Absolutely. And I think a lot of trans people are also angry about some of what are called trans right activists are saying on their behalf. And when you argue with trans right activists, which we do, and doing it online on Facebook, like, it's mental just speaking people like comics that we know. I've had this stupid thing last days on Facebook, and they're literally saying, yeah, there's no biological difference. There's no difference. They're not any stronger. And you're like, here's a photo. This person is twice the size, twice as wide. Science proves that there's differences with the heart.
They know that that's the case.
But
they just can't say it.
They can't see, but they are still arguing the position that, no, they're exactly... The twists of linguistics and logic that when you're arguing with people to say that men and women are different...
Yeah, we have to accept that acknowledging biological reality is not transphobic.
Yeah.
It just isn't.
Yeah.
And the suggestion that it is what's stifling so many debates, because to be called a transphobe is one of the worst things you can be called. One thing that's quite interesting about this article, though, is it talks about how competitors must have completed their transition before the age of 12 in order to compete, right? Now, I had Debbie Hayton on my show yesterday, who's a trans teacher, and she was saying, well, no, this is going to encourage young people to go through the transitioning process far too early, at a point where they're not in a position to make those kind of decisions. Is there a nervousness about that? Is there a worry?
Yeah, that was a ridiculous... Sorry, I just want to say that's a ridiculous thing, and I just want to say reason why. One of the reasons is because when you're putting on puberty blockers and stuff that early, it has a real... I'm sorry to get a bit crass here, but it stunts the development of the genitalia, and that genitalia is then used in... transitional surgery.
Yep.
But if you don't have large enough genitalia, you can't then actually get the surgery later on, if that makes sense.
Yep.
That's why I never transitioned.
Thank you, Josh, for that vivid image. I think we'd better move on there.